So the other night I was experimenting with the cavern props, and I think I found a new way, at least I haven't seen this method before, to build caverns that work pretty well, and it's pretty easy. So let me show you how that's done. First of all, you need a selection of pieces like these. I think you'll have an easy time finding them. Most of these are from the cavern sets or cavern props, except for we're using a bit of sand here. You can use any sand, anything with rocks work as well, probably even better than the sand, but I opted for this one. And this is from the underwater props. It's close to the corals and fishes and so on. I think it's a underutilized piece. I think it's very versatile. I really like using it, and in this video I'll show you how I use this quite extensively. You can also use other cavern pieces, and maybe I even will near the end of the video, but I just want to show you how much you can do with just a few pieces like this. Notice right now that I am in build mode, so the water tile here is not selectable. In order to make it selectable, you have to be in B for build mode, just push B, and then toggle transparent pickability to on, and that will allow you to duplicate that as you see fit. And again, if you want to duplicate something, just double click it and move it around. I like to hold down Shift or Control to move them either vertically or horizontally. Alright, with the tips out of the way, let's have a look at this method. This method is the kind of thing that allows you to build a cavern that is easier to view for the players and kind of have interactions in. I'm gonna make it a bit larger than my test one, I think, maybe 22 by 16. Doesn't feel too much, does it? I really like to randomize these, but in this case I'm gonna cover most of these, so I'm just gonna let them be all uniform for now. But normally I would be going in and picking out and replacing and just trying to randomize the texture a bit more. However, the reason I'm using this bright color here is because I am not planning to see much of it. I'm gonna cover it all in water. So I just double click and then I hold and drag and cover it. Now that gives me one layer, and you see where the white dotted area, the outline areas, that's where it's going to place itself. Now it is tempting to do more water, and I might even do that, but just to keep it simple, I'm just going to do one level of water here. That's enough. Then what you want to do is you want to bring in some walls here, and I will hold down Shift and position it so, oh, it's a little hard to see right now. There, okay. 1, 2. There we are. I will position it so that it is just on top of the sand. Yep. But it's in the water. And that will make sense a little later. But I just stretch this again. I'm not doing randomizing, which I normally do on walls and so on. Oops. But not here. It's not necessary. I'll show you why. There we are. I'm just holding down Shift and I click left and then I drag. Then I can say, okay, 1 by 16. That means I get a wall that is 1 by 16 long. Alright. This looks like a nice little room. It's not too big. It probably could be bigger, and if I see that I need to, I will just expand it this way if I have to. But I try to make all my maps like this large enough to be kind of like you could imagine that it would be on the table at home and so on. Now, before we do much more detailing in this thing, I'm going to hold down X. I'm just holding down X. You see my icon cursor is changing, and then I click and drag again. And that'll give me this box, and that is a selection box. However, it didn't catch everything, So I'm gonna drag it, and you see everything's selected when I drag it, and they kind of hop up. Or, yeah, you can tell that they are being activated and selected. There we are. And I'm gonna hit Control C to copy that. And then I'm gonna place that on the top. Let's see if I got that right. I think I did. I'm gonna hit K to get some more light here. And I'm gonna go up again. That's gonna give me a large enough cave to feel cavernous, or like a grotto. And we're gonna decorate the walls a little bit later. Now, we want to have something that the players can walk on, of course. I mean, this is a cave, right? So for that is what I'm using this piece for. In this case, I am gonna hold it down so that it's right there. You see when I'm holding down Control and I'm moving my mouse up and down, and that allows me to align this piece with the sand level. And doing so means that you are touching the sand, but you're also seeing a little bit of this rock formation, if you will. You're seeing it above the waterline, which allows you to create walkways in the cave that the players can walk on. And I'm just holding down Shift, moving it around so that I have everything on the same level here. And I'm hitting the middle of my mouse button in order to rotate it, like so. Middle of the mouse button. Excellent. If you find that they kind of start stacking on top of each other, just hold down Shift again, double click, and they'll keep bleeding into each other. And sometimes if you kind of let go of the mouse a little bit too soon, then it'll start stacking, and you don't want that. Just keep holding down Shift, rotate to give some randomness. And I'm gonna see here, I'm going to, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to create a sort of winding pathway here. This is not very planned, so I don't know exactly what this thing will turn out to be, but isn't that part of the fun, right? Here we go. Maybe there's even a larger platform over here you can place something of interest on. And I think I'm gonna have a gateway here of sorts too, that will have something of interest. We'll see. You can even have little islands in the water like this. You might notice there aren't cave walls in here. That's not really what I'm going for. I'm just going for a place that the players can explore, maybe have a battle on. But of course, if you want to put walls in, you can use the normal walls, if you will. Won't look as organic, of course. You can also use these, raise them, and create natural walls. In fact, we might even do that a little bit over here. I haven't tried that method, but I'm gonna do it just because I'm curious if it will work. I think it will. Now notice it has a little white circle on it. That means that these can be combined with other items that have these anchor points as well. All you need to do is hold down X, and you can see all of the places that this piece can anchor itself to. You just click and double click on this, hold down X. Now it can be a bit tricky to find the right dot, so to say, so I don't use this method too much. Sometimes you also have to kind of move the camera in order to find the right spot for it. Let's see here. Yeah, sure. Actually, I'm gonna use this one too. It looks kind of, or it's going to look kind of natural. It doesn't look very natural just yet. I think we can do it. Just bleed that into it. There we go. And of course, there's nothing stopping you from even raising this level too. I mean, that's part of what's so fun with TaleSpire, right? Is you can create multiple levels, making for more interesting combat encounters than what you normally see in tabletop simulators, tabletop, what is it called? Virtual tabletop tools, I think, VTT. Yeah, I only use TaleSpire, so I don't know. Okay, maybe this one is a little bit taller too, kind of like that. Just raise it like so. One more. Okay, yeah, now it's starting to have a little bit more of that cavern feel. Alright, and I think I'm gonna make this a little bit wider so there's room for the characters to walk on. I'm gonna have them enter from over here in this area, and you can do that however you want. Maybe you have a little like opening for them, for example, to step through. Let's see if we can rotate this, so holding down Alt. Ooh. Let's try to straighten this piece out so it feels like, oh, okay, we can enter here. Yeah, so you can have the players enter over there. We just expand this like so. Enter over there, and then we also have an exit over here. Maybe it's one they have to fight a little bit to get to. That'll work. Alright, okay, next step is to make it a little bit more cavern-like. So I'm gonna round the corners here with this piece. And now in order to do that, I will find the level of these pieces first, in case I can see it better. There we are. I'm just gonna fill in this corner here, like so. I'm gonna hold down Control just to where I see it's aligning. Let's see, these pieces are a little finicky. Oh, that works. And hold down Control. And there you are. And if you see that you have little gaps here, it's not the end of the world, and we're gonna probably fill in a few of them later too, but yeah, you can always fill in it. And if you see a gap at the top here, you can just use these. Gonna fill that. Okay. And do we do the same thing over here? No, but okay, I haven't tried this before, so bear with me. I have to give it a try here, because I really want to use more of the cavern set. That's why I did this in the first place. It's never appealed to me that much. I mean, it's nice, but I feel it's missing a few key components to make it really truly fun to build with, like the later sets, which are just absolutely fantastic. But I just had to try it out, and yeah, I kind of, this is really growing on me. I've had a lot of fun building this cave style so far, which is once. So, but yeah, no, I don't know. I do enjoy this. This is nice. Okay, let's make it nicer. Next step is, of course, these pieces. I love these pieces. These pieces look so great, and they really give you that cavern feel, and they bring everything together. So we're just gonna place them in different locations here that I feel they fit in. And here I am doing a combination of moving them into the walls here on the side where I see they kind of fit, especially here. It's kind of, you have to just blend them. It feels like, yeah, they're sort of supposed to go together. Try to avoid that bright yellow top spot to show up too much, since the underwater dark pieces that you're using for the walkways here, they kind of look so different. But if you just fit them right in the right spots, then I think they look quite natural together. And don't forget to vary the height of these pieces too as you build. That'll help with variety. Just double click on the middle mouse button as well. Just keep adding variety, and make sure that you are following the contours, the shapes of the above ground walkways here, so it's like they are actually meant to be together. This also helps to kind of just create that more complete feeling of the underground, which I like. And they also help cover up the squares, the desert squares underneath it all. So that's nice. Maybe we'll build up a little bit here. Like kind of look like a more dramatic piece here that kind of frames it a bit. Bring in some of these. Let's see here. I will probably go and put a double wall on this to kind of hide stuff like this from showing, even though that's not the end of the world, but you know, I'd like to do that. Hold down Control, hold down Shift, and use X again to just multiply these pieces. Okay, and we're gonna put a few more of these. Try to make this a bit steeper. There we are. I think that covers most of it. Yep. Maybe a few here and maybe front. I always try to think of the front as like a very important area, just because it's where players might be seeing the map from the most. Okay, then this piece really helps you out. So just bring that in next to the walls. Just hold down Control, hold down Shift, and just merge it with the wall, like so. Now you see, now you're covering up those gaps as well. And cover, double click, and just give it a little bit of variation. You can also kind of combine them a little bit. That's also allowed. Don't forget to hold down Alt and rotate them if you do any diagonal walls, like here. And I also like to just bring them up, like so. So hold down Control and just keep positioning it where it feels most natural. And here I am just really just adding set dressing to the thing, because the players will be walking alongside this and having these on the walls instead of just seeing this straight up cave wall. I mean, it works, but to me it just adds much more interest to the walls and help, you know, sell the feeling that, hey, we are in a real cavern here. Everything is a little wet and musty and gross, and we should kind of get out of here and get to the tavern. I'm gonna put some here too. Now it would also definitely help to study some actual caves if you want to do this really well. I have not, because I have a great fear of caves. They terrify me. I will never ever go into one unless I really have to. Even just watching documentaries about caves. I'll take so many other ways to die over caves. So there you have it. All almost done here. I'm gonna just adjust this. But there is a smaller piece too, and I tend to go back and add that later on. Now, it's also absolutely fine to just double these as much as you like. Hold down control as they kind of move further away, so that you get some variety in the heights of these things. But yeah, as you see, you can totally just build these up as like almost like a stalagmite forest around the larger pillars in the cave. And of course, oh, no, let's not forget this one. Aha. Almost did. Maybe even at the front here a little bit. This is where I definitely spend too much time, but bear with me. Bear with me. I mean, the players might see all these things from all sorts of angles, right? So I'm gonna just feel like the entire space here, like all of it kind of fits together, and everything is made out of the same stuff. Kind of just want the pieces themselves to be not noticed even. If you can do that, a stutlery style, as I like to call it, then yeah, all the power to you. By the way, Stutlery Astra, if you are new to TaleSpire, has a fantastic YouTube channel and also amazing builds on Tales Tavern. Highly recommended. Shout out to Nket as well. I will leave some links in the description below if I am smart. You can go and check out their YouTube channels. They and so many others too, they really inspire me to just keep coming back to TaleSpire and build. It's so fun to make these things and then share them. I will put out this map on Tales Tavern too, of course, so that you can enjoy it. Though I hope if you try this method that you will upload something too in the same style. Maybe you can tag this video. Yoo-hoo! Okay, I think we have enough of those for now. I will probably bring in a few more later. But to start, this is all we need. Now we're gonna bring in some pillars and see where they fit. I'm gonna put one here, kind of like that. And I'm gonna vary the height of these. Let's see if we can bring one in here. Don't know yet if that'll look good, but I'm gonna try it. And here we're trying to just blend this with, you see how it's kind of just blending in with the piece beneath? It works. Be careful if you have two pieces like this too close to each other. You can vary the height to make them look less similar. And of course rotating helps a lot too. And suddenly they look like completely different pieces even though they are the same. Anytime you see something repeating like that, I mean, it's not a problem, but if you want to just add an extra little detail, see if you can go in and just get rid of it. Hold on, I'm gonna hit K to get some light here. I'm gonna use this to frame this doorway here. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of great arches in TaleSpire yet. There are some really good ones, but we definitely do not have enough. And for that reason, I am just gonna use these for now. I would have really loved to have some arches here. Here I'm just trying to add some variety to the walls, for example. I'm just trying to follow the shapes of these things. There you go. Anytime, like, you see how this piece and this, like, you can tell it's repeating here on the walls. Oh, just put in one of these and very quickly you are concealing, or at least somewhat concealing, because if you use too many, you'll start to see that these pieces are repeating as well, and then the wall isn't a problem anymore. You've made your own. Okay, I'm just gonna decorate the walls a little bit more here. it's also okay to just duplicate a lot of them. That also works. And finally, I think that covers. Oh, and we can have a little bit of this over here. And maybe a little bit of this too. There we are. And if I hit K now, I'm gonna see everything's kind of just blending a little bit better together. Alright. Now, I need to take 1 second break while my cat, hello, is walking by. I am so sorry, Scratchy, but I have to go elsewhere right now. Not on the keyboard. Alright. Yes. You lay there and relax. Okay. Then, let's see here. Kind of like this, that it has a different level, so I'm gonna bring in a little bit more of that here. Just add a little bit of interest to the cave exploring, and just also help it look more natural. Caves do have varying levels, right, of its surface. And since we don't have more natural ways of doing that in TaleSpire, well, then this will have to do. There we go, so we're just varying that a little bit. You do not have to do that, but I don't know, I find it helps. Here I'm just adding this too, so that this pillar isn't just jutting straight up, because I can't imagine that this is representing like the liquid here with all sorts of minerals having just flowing down and then kind of seeping out on the floor and forming the shapes that we see today. Speaking of, this is also a great piece. Love this one. It can add just that little extra here and there to just conceal the different pieces you are using a little bit. Make all of it just look and feel a little bit more natural. As if it wasn't a lot of the same pieces over and over and over again. Anytime you can do that, anytime you can add a little bit of flair to your maps, I recommend doing that. Let's see here, I'm gonna put a few of these here. Yeah. Just to bring that all together. Let's see here. It's a pretty good height. These can also be stacked like this, which is kind of neat, and you can avoid that light piece. But as you see, it kind of, as long as you rotate and slowly work your way up, it kind of looks like, hey, that's a piece on its own, not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the same piece on top of each other. So see what you can do with that. Not gonna do too much more of that, but kind of want to have a little bit of this here too. Now, as I'm building this too, I do try to imagine where might the players go. What parts of this might they use for advantage, to get the upper hand in the combat? Where might they position themselves? So we have a few spaces up here, possibly this spot, this right here. Not this. I'm gonna fill that in so that it's clear that that's kind of off limits. But yeah, see what you can do. Don't have everything the same level. But this is not a very extreme map in terms of varying levels, but yeah, it is what it is. Okay, then this piece too, and there's a couple of hanging stalagmites. I think there's a stalagmite and the other is a stalactite, is that it? But just adding a few of these can just help bring up the repetitiveness of many of these things. It can also help bring in a little bit of an arch here at the entrance. Just give a little bit of interest to it. It's not the greatest, but I don't know. Maybe I'll find something to put in the doorway there. Maybe I find a door or an arch. We'll see. And just vary them. It's also okay to mix them with the stalactites as if they kind of are in the same unit. As you see, they kind of come together quite nicely, which is nice. I don't know if you can see that, but I hope you can. And just gonna add these over here. The doorway again. And a few of these pieces too. And it's also okay to just make a... Again, you don't need to do this, but I just like that it has extra detail, so I do. Just to see now, what's beneath here is starting to kind of become less important. And it's kind of hiding it, like it's kind of coming together more as if this is all one piece. Okay. Oh, you know what? If you have stuff hanging on the side walls, you probably have some of it here as well, because it's dripping from the roof. So we're gonna bring in some of this. We can also use this to conceal this hard wall here. As you see, there's like a, it's jutting out like that, so we're just gonna get rid of that and do that here too. There we are. Okay, and again, just look at things from every angle. And you'll usually find lots of places that you didn't notice. And maybe we put one on the side here too. Yeah, I like that. Okay. Cool. Okay. Yeah, it's not the most exciting shape, but I think it would be a fun little cavern thing. Maybe there's some creatures waiting for them in a ambush over here, or maybe they're racing after someone and need to kind of do shortcuts that are less ideal. Okay, it's time for a little bit of lighting here, and this is where it gets fun. Just use these, first of all, to light up the sides of the wall. So you see how dark everything is now? I mean, it's not that dark even. I've cranked up the light. Oh, ow! Of course, before we even discuss light, we have to look at the atmosphere settings. Let's have a look at those. And just hit space to bring out the little side menu here, and then click atmosphere settings. And of course, you can put on the ambient cavern wet sounds. That totally works. And here I have the exposure up to 2.3 with the sun being set to, I guess this is midnight. And I have moved this to the very top instead of giving it side shadows at all. just kind of creates more of a light that feels more natural to a cave where there shouldn't even be light. But again, it's kind of like movies, right? Like you can't have a pitch black night. You need to be able to see something. So you need to use darkness and light in a way that helps sell the situation. But you can't have things pitch black. It's just, you can't see anything. I mean, if you want to have a pitch black campaign and you are very, very close on the players, absolutely go for it. But in this case, in order to let the players see something, I have cranked up the exposure. You can do however you want. I keep it at 2.3 here, and I even have a fog multiplier, but it is debatable whereas that is a good or bad thing. I could probably turn it down a little bit here. And then I have a post effect of the greens on here, but again, keep it very subtle. I don't think it looks very good high like this. I don't know why that's an option. I don't think that's pleasant. So I always keep these very low, but I do think having them on adds a little bit of uniqueness to your map. Anyhow, those are the atmosphere lighting settings. You can also, I should mention that you can also go to campaign and board settings, where weirdly enough the vertical fog happens to be. I don't know why it's not under atmosphere. But here you have vertical fog, and it can work. Like if you have a really big map, and when you turn this on, you will get this purple slider here. Like you can do this. You kind of get like a misty-ish thing. Don't know if that works really great. Green is probably a better one. In fact, I kind of find that a little charming. Can even go, no, that's too much. You know, you can kind of like imply that the water here is not so good for you. That's possible. The only problem with doing that is that everything else around takes on this thing. And to me, that takes away from the map itself too much for me to do that, so I rarely use that. However, darkness, I think it's amazing if you use it the right way, and the same thing with atmosphere and calm fog. Even glowing heat can be used really efficiently in the right ways. Not here, but you know. Anyhow, that was a sidebar. Okay, we've done atmosphere. We've done the vertical fog here. Well, we're not doing it. Let's have a look at light. I'm actually going to start with the green crystals. Now, it's very tempting to kind of cram these really hard and get these very intense black and white shadows from these things. You can do that. I like to try a little subtler approach, and what I do is I just hide them in the water itself. So instead of doing this, which you see is kind of very intense black and white, just hiding them just out of view here. So you see how they kind of create a shine that isn't as intense. I can raise them up and down. Control is what I use here, and I will just place it a little bit further away. Right there, you see I'm lighting up everything without making the light specks too intense. Same here, just lighting things up and giving it a little bit more charm. Now you can use blue as well here. In fact, there's nothing wrong with changing it up and having a few blue crystals as well to light things, but I do find that the blue ones are a little bit harder to shine properly here. Anyhow, just gonna put these in right here. You can double them if you find that the light isn't given enough of. You can just double. Anyhow, I do prefer the green for our use here. Which one am I using? Ah, it's the big one. Is that the big one? Yeah. Alright. Double click to copy. And let's just place them here. If you don't want the players to see the little pieces here, I feel the water is hiding it enough for me to not worry about it. But if you don't like it, you know, you can use some rocks or something to conceal it. You could even do these guys. Just hide it all together. That works. Yeah. Let's see here. Put one of these down here. And here I'm just trying to emulate a shine from the water, not putting it up anywhere else. Don't need to. I'll show you why in a second. And now I have experimented with trying the crystals act like a crystal cave, and that is a lot of fun. But I haven't been happy with the results so far, so I'm gonna keep exploring that, see what I find. Over here I think I'm gonna make it a bit more intense. I kind of like that. It kind of creates like a swampy or like a foamy green look to this, as if they're more natural. I do like that. And again, you have to find your style too, of course. So if this isn't for you, just try out something else. Whatever works. I'm doubling down a little bit. Okay. So now you see we have this kind of green frame here around the water that just adds, I think, a lot more interest to the map itself. Just adding a little bit of light, as if this is more of a movie set than a flat map, so to say. Yeah, I'm gonna add a little bit more around here. There are some places. There we go. It's almost like you're painting the model itself, dry brushing it. There we are. Okay, so we have that, but we're also going to add a little bit of light to the cave itself, to the walls around here. Because when the players are walking around, can have it dark like this, no problem. I like to add a little bit more light. And in this case, we're using one of the futuristic, the cyberpunk lights. And what we do is we hold down control and we sink it into the ground. Sink it just far enough where it's not creating too much. You see how it creates that that white highlight? It's too close. I'm just gonna bring it down a little bit more and position it in a way where it's lighting it up just enough. So you see the difference. Hold on, I'm gonna do that one more time. One more time. So you see the difference between the dark areas and what has a little bit more light on it. I do find that just feels a bit more interesting, as if it was lit up the way that like an old 80s movie is when they had like artificial caves built, but they had to, you know, keep it light. No, because you want to see them on screen. And that also applies a lot to when you're playing online as well. Like a lot of you are playing on screens, and being able to light up everything so that your players can see the map that they're on, I do think that is important. Let's see here. And you know that this is an artificial light, but your players most likely will not question it. They will just see a well-lit map and be happy about it. That's all you need them to know. There we go. So now you see you have the dark parts on top here, but then when you're zooming in for the action, everything is just a little bit easier to take in. Now I'm gonna save and block it just in case. There we go, so I don't forget that. And there we are. Okay. Now I'm looking at all of these things and being tempted. I am particularly this guy. I'm wondering about like how can you use that in a nice way. You know, like we're already doing all this foamy stuff. It just looks very algae. I don't know how that's pronounced. So why not add a little bit of it? It can also help break up the monotony in the walls here. Add a little bit of color. We're going to add a little bit of color in a second with the final element. But you know, just adding a little bit, kind of placing them with the idea that they're kind of seeping through from somewhere, like trying to make them feel a bit natural to the places I am placing them. Definitely a little bit more light over here. Can we do? We just have some crystals here. It's like, welcome to the crystal caves. Yeah. That's very obviously where you're supposed to go, right? So let's do that. And we bring in a little bit more of this. Just again to keep it coherent. Right. I'm always wondering, you can also hide these. As you see, you often get very intense lightings, and I think that has to be used very sparingly to not come off as not looking as pleasing as it can. Notice I'm keeping this part in darkness because this is really the path that they should be walking on, so it just helps them see what is important and what is not. Why not? Add a little bit of shine here and there. Yeah. Maybe a few pieces here and there might work for this. Might work for this version. I could be very careful with where you are placing them. Maybe you don't have them all pop out always. But you just see one like so. Nah, let's not do that. Do you want a green one here? Now this is a place that just kind of like screams that, hey, we want to have some color on it. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to place one light right there, just really put some color on this, and then I'm going to hit tab and I'm going to create a hide volume. I click first on edit hide volumes, then I click create hide volume, and then I try to position my mouse where I think it will be, and then I drag, click, and drag again. Yeah, we caught it. And now it's gone, but if you right click it, you can turn on the filters and the light. And now the light will shine through. You won't see the tile. It's gone, but it will hide it right there. There you are. And then you get this nice little fun spot with more of the light. Maybe we try to do that over here too. Let's see here. Yeah, that's not too bad. Let's do that since the players will be on their way here. Or maybe it's where they're coming from. Let's see, tab, edit hide volumes, create hide volume, and hope that you get it. If you don't, and you click like in the totally wrong spot, just click this and then you can drag and edit it as you see fit. You see there are these little boxes on the side here that defines how large this hide volume is. I don't use hide volumes very often. They scare me, but I do find them very efficient into, boom, creating atmosphere in places. All right. Maybe we have one of those over here too, just to... Yeah, let's do that. Just want to highlight that there's an exit here that they came from. Maybe I should have a pillar on the side here. It's okay. Came in this way. It's not great, but it's what I have to work with. Okay. Tab, edit, create, boom, boom. So that's a little bit of light to this part too. Okay. Now, I'm always like looking through here. Like you can definitely bring in more of this stuff here if you want to. You can even use these guys to kind of create a, subterranean something, or even lily pads if you want to. You're allowed. It's your world. Do what you wish. The final piece are red mushrooms. You see, we have used everything here now. But let's bring in a few mushrooms too. They will just help add just enough variety to make, I think, the entire world just feel a little bit more alive and not so barren, without going overboard. Here we have big one right there. No, I'm not gonna use. I really think these are cute, but I'm only gonna use the same style red mushrooms. Ooh, these are nice too. Maybe I'll use, but again, using fewer pieces can help tie the place together more. Just make it feel like it's a real place. And also help the players make sense of the environment that they're in. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Because if you use too many things, it gets very easily cluttered. And that can be cool, but you're also trying to tell a story with the map itself. Help the players understand where they're supposed to go, what is what. And that is why, for example, in this map, the reason why I like using the same piece for the floor here is it very clearly indicates to the players where can you walk, where are you allowed to walk, and where are you maybe not supposed to walk. This has a very distinct color. The water and the greens have a distinct color, and you know, that helps the players navigate. It helps them make them feel comfortable in the environment because they can scan your map and understand what's going on pretty quickly. If that is what you're going for, of course. If you want them to be in utter fear and confusion, that is also allowed. So we got some... See here I'm kind of placing the mushrooms around pillars, as if nutrients from the pillars are causing the mushroom growth. I don't know if that is how it works in real life, but you know, but that is also a signal to the players that, you know, your world has some sort of thought behind it, and they start to see coherent hints about it. Hints that your world has some rules that they can understand and maybe exploit. I don't know how you would exploit mushroom growth in this world, but who knows? Who knows? We're gonna have one big one over here. It creates an unfortunate shade on that. That's better. Okay. Anything else we want? Now we have gone through all of the pieces. You might notice that the crystals are visible. Just tab twice and they will go away. No problem. And I think the one thing that is missing right now is, of course, a little bit more detailing with these pieces. You have more stuff available to you, and I recommend using them for variety, but I don't think the map direly needs it. I think this map is fine as is. It has a variety of cool elements without being too cluttered. Let's see if we add this one here. A few of those over here. Does feel a little bit like this area here could be a little bit more lit up. Oh. There we are. Now it's hidden. You could also, if you wanted to, you could do what's going on here, where you see that the ground is kind of green. That it looks pretty cool. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. But it means that I would have to do a lot of weird hide volumes. I really like this green glow on them, I really do. But it's too much finicking, and I want a DM that finds this map and uses it to not have too many hide volumes to deal with. So I'm gonna opt not to do it. And I don't think I need too much more stuff here now. I'm just looking around at what is available to me. Roots are also great if you are in a place where roots could still reach this level. This might not be the place for it, but even just adding a few here and there can help with that sense of a bit more randomness, natural growth, and so on. Here and there, again, it's all about breaking up the patterns, right, that are created when you use the same tile over and over again. You want to try to avoid that if you want the maps to, you know, just look a bit more natural. Or you can not. That's what's so great about TaleSpire, is there is no right or wrong way of doing it. If you just use tiles, that's perfectly fine. The main point is that you're having fun with it. Now, I do hope that if you find this map on Tale's Tavern, that you will have fun with it. It's the final touches here. I'm gonna add a little bit of debris here and there. I know these are not natural stones, but I think that's okay because you can't really see them too much underground here. Just adds a little bit of clutter. Where was the thing I was looking for? Oh, by the way, these pieces too I find are really cool. Is there a door actually? I wonder. In the same style? Oh. The props, the tiles. There we are. Okay, yeah, there you go. I like that. Kind of feels like some goblins or someone that has been building this map. There we go. Open. Yeah. Yeah. That works. That's kind of neat. Let's keep it. And also, if you're bringing in one of those, then you're kind of obliged to just add a little bit of that stuff elsewhere too, so that you don't have it in just one place only. I mean, you can, but I like when there are hints of similar things here and there. Maybe, for example, some goblins have built a little tiniest of fortifications up here on this ledge. Let's see here. I can see that happening. And man, they brought some wood down all the way with them, didn't they? I could just add a few of these over here too. Not gonna overdo it. It's just to show that they have a little stronghold here. Maybe there's even some hints of flooring they have applied. Maybe there's some a little pastime here. Yeah, there we are. And I was thinking that they have a little bit of cooking spot here too. Like so. What else can we bring in here? I was thinking we have the treasures if we have that, I do think we need a lantern or something too. Just a little bit of light. That also helps add to the variety of the cave itself. So you can see, you can't even see it when you're entering here, but as you come past here, you see more of it. Definitely feels like a little hideout. Let's put a few more things here. We have a bucket. Yeah, that bucket right there. Gotta have a bucket for whatever they're using a bucket for here. And we have Grim. Oh yeah. The cobwebs actually do work underground for these kind of maps. It's not the look I'm going for, but if you wanted to, totally you can blend them into this style as well, and it works. No problem. Oh, maybe this could be a ominous warning. Just have a few signs of... What are these spikes for? They're so much smaller. Haven't thought of that. Let's see here. Do we put in a little bed or something? Or a little footstool? There you go. I think that'll be enough. I don't want to overdo it here. But you know, it's always tempting. Just keep adding little things. And little things is also little things that the players can find, right? So, and I mean, it almost feels impossible not to find a green bottle in this map. So, with some odd liquid in. And maybe a little pot here too. Just add some color over there. Okay. Now I'm just being silly. There we go. I think that sums it up. Ooh. Oh, there's these two. I really wanted to have a pot up there, but I don't feel I have the space for it at all. Maybe we do have room for a potion. Yes, we do. Fits in right there. Okay. Beautiful. Anything we can hide for the players to find? Well, we can give them a hint that this place does have inhabitants. So there's a broken little thing there. Maybe there's even a oddly placed... There we are. See if they can keep their hands off that. I guarantee you they won't. Oh, maybe there's a bedroll here or something. Oh, that's too much. Also too much. Just enough. Yeah, why not? Okay. Okie dokie. Oh, yeah. Aberration also, I think, could work. I haven't explored enough with it. But I think you could get some pretty cool pillars out of this. Even this piece right here is kind of interesting. Or these things could also be some sort of growth in the cave. I haven't had time to explore that. So you tell me what you find. Maybe you find that those are even better. for this kind of map. I'm just going through and making sure I didn't miss anything. Now I think I'm okay with this. Let's hit F6, we can see it. Yeah, it's still right. I think if I were to build another map from anew, I would try to bring in some more ruins to make it more interesting. Maybe make a bridge or something, or a temple. Maybe I'll do another video. Let me know in the comments if you want to see a video like that, or if there is something else you'd like to see me build, or if you just have questions about TaleSpire in general. I love TaleSpire, and I would love for you to learn more about it, because it's a wonderful building tool, and you don't have to build maps like this. Really, you can build them any way you see fit, and I'd be happy to show you. So yeah, leave some comments below, let me know what you think, and let me know how you build caves. I'd love to see it, because I'd love to learn more tricks in building these maps and making them feel and look natural and playable. So that would be all. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll post this on Tales Tavern. I'll leave a link in the description below, and I will post again very soon. Thank you again for watching.